College football kicks off this weekend with week 0 in Dublin. It's Kansas State, Iowa State. We're going to be doing a watch along this Saturday, so join us for that. But first, you need a watch list. You need a watch list of players to keep an eye out for this college football season in preparation for the NFL draft. That's right, because when we get to the draft, you're going to be like, I've been watching this player all year. I really hope my team drafts him, so fret not. I got you covered. We're going to do a top 100 big board. Of course, we got to start from the bottom. We're going to be starting at 100, who happens to be wide receiver Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. I actually like him quite a bit. I think he could be maybe potentially a high-level wide receiver 2 in league. I just don't see the upside to be maybe an elite level wide receiver. 99, D'Angelo Pons out of Indiana. Listen, if this dude was 5'11", 190, we'd be talking about him as a potential first-round corner because his game is that good. But with his measurements, he's just not going to fit a lot of teams' thresholds. But golly, I love his game. We got guard DJ Campbell out of Texas here at 98, and then at 97, Aaron Anderson out of LSU. Slot wide receiver, but he's hella fun there. And then another wide receiver in Malachi Fields, formerly of Virginia, now at Notre Dame. He's got great sizes, 6'4", 220 pounds, and pretty solid lawn speed. John Mateer, quarterback out of Oklahoma, formerly of Washington State, here at 95. He's got the whole... I don't think there's been an investigation actually launched, but like his Venmo stuff came out. It was like, he was betting on college football in 2022, which would have been his freshman year at Washington State. So I don't know, man. Maybe more will come out with that, but till it does, it's going to act like it don't exist. Darius Taylor, running back out of Minnesota, there at 94, just big physical back. We got Rayshawn Benny, defensive tackle out of Michigan. A little undersized, but he plays with a lot of juice. At 92, a favorite of mine, KC Concepcion, formerly of NC State, now going to play wide receiver at Texas A&M. He had a really good freshman year, bit of a down year last year for the Wolfpack during his sophomore year. A lot of that had to do with the quarterback play. You had Grayson McCall having to retire after a concussion, and just there was a lot of inconsistency at quarterback. And then you might notice this if you follow the channel, because I included Jennings Dunker as a tackle using my tackle video. I just got verified arm measurements. They're looking suboptimal, which probably means moving him into guard. So I moved him over to my guard rankings, but golly, might not be a more get after it road grader, run blocker in this class. Let's go up. Let's keep this sucker rolling. Let's keep it moving. As at 90, I got Nico. Let's see if I can nail the last name. I got the pronunciation in front of me. Iomaliava out of UCLA, formerly of Tennessee. He, quite frankly, might wait to come out in 2027. He, if you didn't know, I think it was during or after spring practices. He was trying to get, I think, more NIL money. Tennessee didn't budge. He transferred. He's at UCLA now. We'll see if he sticks around after a year at UCLA. That's going to be interesting, but I think he's got an NFL arm, man. Dude throws with a lot of zip, but he's a lot of projection as it stands now. Jalen Kilgore, I just mentioned earlier in my cornerback rankings. I mentioned him in there, talking about him as a safety, but he's another fun player at South Carolina. I got Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh at 88. Oh, let me tell you, I went to watch the film on, was it his teammate, Rasheem Biles, I believe? And Lewis just kept sticking out, man. He is just twitched up fast. DJ McKinney, corner out of Colorado, coming here at 87. He could be a big riser if he adds some weight and gets a little bit more physical aspect to his game. Safety, Terry Moore out of Duke. He's coming off, is it an ACL injury? Let me see. Yeah, he would tear his ACL during the Duke, what is it, the Duke Mayo Bowl against Ole Miss. And he ended up, I think what I heard is he tore his ACL on the 59-yard interception he had, which is a shame. But golly, I liked his tape a lot, and hopefully he could come back healthy. Jack Endries, tight end, formerly of California, now at Texas, gonna step in for that, I guess, that Gunnar Helm role. Let's see if he can pop off. I feel like Texas has been having tight ends just kind of come out of nowhere as of late with Gunnar Helm last year. We'll see with entries. Le'Veon Moss, running back out of Texas A&M, coming in at 84. He didn't he have a legal trouble? I believe he had some legal trouble this year. Oh, I don't have it in there. Oh, you know what? I got it. While I pull that up, legal trouble. Here, let me get Gojo up in here. So in July 13th of this year, he was arrested for disorderly conduct, allegedly assumed. Oh, that's right. He took a fight posture against an unidentified man. So he was looking to square up. And Moss was still shouting at the man, making threats, even after others tried to de-escalate the situation. So, okay, he's got a temper. He's a little hothead. It is what it is. Isaiah World, tackle out of Oregon, formerly of, I believe, Nevada. He's got some tools. I'm going to be excited to see him this year at Oregon. Jaden Roberts out of Alabama, guard. Could even play tackle. He made Bruce Feldman's freaks list. I feel like I just have him too low, but here he is at 80, 82. 81 is Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU. Might have suboptimal arm length, but I love the dude's game, man. He plays a physical style. Logan Jones, center out of Iowa. He's going to be someone that just sets the combine ablaze, on fire. He's going to be fun. But he is, again, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but if you see ages, that's not their current age. That's what their age would be basically week 1 of their rookie season. So yeah, if you're looking to be like, he's not 24 yet, it's like, well, he will be at the beginning of his rookie year. Yeah. All right, let's go up to 76 here. At 79, Noah Thomas could have a big year for Georgia. He's transferring from A&M. Austin Barber, another guy I think could maybe even sneak into being a first rounder. He's got some interesting tools. The tackle out of Florida. Wendell Moe Jr., guard out of Tennessee. You're going to love what he can do as a pass protector, but it needs to clean up some stuff as a run blocker. And then Aaron Graves, defensive tackle out of Iowa. He's coming off a pretty big year. Former wrestler. I'm sure people are going to love that about him. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. At 75, I got Mekhi Hughes, running back out of Oregon. He is transferring from Tulane, where he had a big year, first team All AAC. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at Oregon. Eric Singleton Jr., wide receiver out of Auburn. Might not be the biggest guy, but he might be the fastest guy. People are saying he's going to run a sub 4.3. So be on the look for that. Got a couple of edge players, guys that can have big years. I want to see them kind of expand on their current toolbox. You got the lanky lone Joshua Josephs out of Tennessee, and then Mateo Uiagalelei out of Oregon. Had a big sack year, but a lot of them were cleanup sacks. So that's something to be wary of. Cage Casey, he's been a phenomenal tackle at Boise State. He's back for another year. Probably could have been a day 2 pick last year. And then Darren Mensah, quarterback out of Duke, coming here at 70. I think I'm much higher on him than everyone else. Formerly of Tulane, now he's going to take his talents to the Power 4. And I mean, to be fair, I thought he played well at Tulane when they went against teams like, what was it, Oklahoma last year. The year before it was Ole Miss, because he had to step in when Michael Pratt got hurt. But I think he's got a solid arm, and he's very, very accurate. Then at 69, nice, I got the big boy. Big Tim Keenan III out of Alabama. Very toolsy guy that has fluctuated in weight, but he's got a lot of good athleticism. Speaking of athleticism, safety Robert Spears Jennings out of Oklahoma. Kind of a freak. He was recorded multiple times at like 22 miles per hour on the field. I just want to see the ball production kind of rev up a little bit. Got Max Clare, tight end out of Ohio State. A lot of people think he could be special. I wish he was closer to like that 240, 245. But yeah, he was a really good athlete at Purdue. And honestly, there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed at Ohio State. Between Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. They also got Brandon Innes there. So a lot of mouths to feed. AJ Harris, corner out of Penn State. I like him as his own corner. There, I just talked about him earlier this week with the corner class. I just think there's a disconnect in press, and he might be more of an off zone coverage guy. And then DeAndre Moore Jr. is kind of a sleeper for me out of Texas. I love this dude's speed. And if they expand the route tree, watch out, because he has the chance to be a special type of route runner. He does have ball skills, does need to cut down on the focus drops. And then Harold Perkins Jr., linebacker out of LSU. I've heard some good things out of camp about him. He's coming off the ACL tear. So I am curious to see more, but right now he's kind of stuck in this tweener role. Joe Royer, Cincinnati, tight end, 6'5", 255 pounds. One of the few tight ends in this class that's actually above that 250 mark and like comfortably above it. I think what he brings as an all-around prospect as a tight end is very promising. Zane Duran, he's undersized, but he's twitchy. Defensive tackle out of Penn State, really gets after it. And then CJ Allen, linebacker out of Georgia, coming in at 61. For me, I want to see a little bit more. He's got the potential to be really good in coverage. I just have to see it. I really, really do. Just the awareness wasn't there. The splash plays just really weren't there for him. And then R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma here at 60. A little undersized. Probably has suboptimal length. But he's compact. He's explosive. And actually, that means at 59, I probably have David Bailey out of Texas Tech. I do. David Bailey. I'm a big fan of David Bailey. I liked his Stanford tape. Now he goes to the Big 12. Made Bruce Feldman's Freaks List for his rare speed. And let me tell you, it is rare. Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. Someone with all the tools, needs to add play strength. Feels like sometimes just he gets outmatched, overpowered. Elijah Surratt, more physical, wide receiver, can go up, make those contested catches. Not going to have the best speed in the world. If you remember my edge video, here at 56, I got Max Llewellyn out of Iowa, edge. But it was kind of caveat that it was two players here. Anto Saka, I believe is how you say it, out of Northwestern. Just two guys that have very little sample size, but they're marvelous, wonderful athletes. I went with Llewellyn, but you could have really put Saka here as well. I think he's going to have a really good year too. So I didn't want to take up two spots with two edges I think are going to, after just not playing a lot of snaps, that are just going to absolutely explode. And then Connor Liu, watch out, man. He might be a favorite of mine. I'm a sucker for these athletic centers, and he's as athletic as they come. At corner, out of Georgia, Dalen Everett coming here at 54, just missing the top 50. Really good press man corner. Eli Stowers out of Vandy, tight end. Just a phenomenal athlete. Keep in mind, this was a former quarterback back at, was it Texas A&M, right? And then he came to New Mexico State, lost the starting quarterback job to Diego Pavia, and then transitioned to tight end. That went well. And then him and Pavia transferred to Vandy and had a really good year. He was a first team All SEC. I got a couple of guards here. We got Kaden Green out of Missouri, and then Armaje Reed Adams out of Texas A&M. Two big boys, obviously Reed Adams, a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. But I think that they are both probably, they're solid enough athletes to play zone, but I really like what they can do in gap. But I think they could probably really play in any scheme. We'll be back with today's video, but I got to give a shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you download the app and sign up using promo code BROSHMO, they match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. Get in on the action at Underdog Fantasy, whether it's weekly best ball or my favorite, higher or lower on player stats. The football season, it's here. It's fast approaching. So get up on Underdog Fantasy, download that sucker, use promo code BROSHMO, and thank me later. As always, play responsibly and play within your means. Going to the top 50. And we're going to start with Zaki Wheatley out of Penn State. Another guy that's a special athlete, in my opinion. Great size, 6'3", 198. And you saw the ball skills. He got after it even among, like, he could have had like 2 or 3 fumble recoveries. He had 2 forced fumbles, but the recoveries, had a few of them called back. And basically sent to go the other way. The UCLA one fell on the ground and picks up, starts running. But it's like, nah, the ball carrier was down. But a guy that plays to and through the whistle like that, I just absolutely love. 49, it is Malik Muhammad out of Texas. If he reportedly put on the weight up to 188, he's a really good athlete. We see the ball skills, the anticipation get a little bit better. He should be a first rounder. Sonny Styles, linebacker at Ohio State. Remember, former safety, made the transition last year to linebacker. Special type of athlete. Sam Levitt out of Arizona State. He's going into his redshirt sophomore season. So honestly, might end up coming back. But after a special year last year with Arizona State, he's got more weapons this year. Arizona State should be hella good. And then Kamari Ramsey out of USC. Big fan of that safety, coming in here of 46. Then I got a couple of linebackers. I think these are your high floor linebackers at 44. Deontay Lawson out of Alabama. And then Torian York out of Texas A&M. I absolutely love York. He's kind of a my guy, but I really liked Lawson too before he got hurt. I am curious. He was at 218 during camp, but keep in mind he's coming off of the it wasn't an ACL injury. So he's coming off the ACL injury, so maybe he puts on more weight for the season. I imagine he does. Will Lee, corner out of Texas A&M here at 43. Great size, good athlete. My tight end one here at 42. Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. He was behind, Terrence Ferguson. I almost said Jake Ferguson. It's not even Jake, it's Jack Ferguson. But that's not even Jack, it's Jake. Golly, I just keep messing it up. But yeah, Ferguson's gone now, so Sadiq gets to be the main focal point at tight end. But from what we saw from him, could be a first rounder. I'm just going to say that. Could be a first rounder. At number 41, I got Jake Slaughter, center out of Florida. A little undersized. He's at sub 300, but he's got room along the frame. He could add more. Very light-footed. Big fan of his. Denzel Boston coming in at 40, wide receiver out of Washington. 6'4", 209 pounds. Big bodied, but he also can fly. Great launch speed. He registered over 20 miles per hour a few times last year. Had the breakout year, but I'm looking for that year over 1,000 because I know he's got that in him. Hopefully the quarterback play is better. And then Denai Dennis Sutton, edge out of Penn State, coming here at 39. He's listed at 6'5", 265. He looks way thicker and bigger. He's strong. He's got actually quite a few good moves to him, just not like the twitchiest or most explosive dude. And then at 38, Keith Abney out of Arizona State, corner. He's one of the most fluid, I think, movers in this class. He might not be the quickest or the fastest, but golly, he can keep up with vertical speedsters. He can keep up with shiftier receivers that know how to change their tempo. He's just really good. Maybe he's like a 4-time national champion speed roller skater. So maybe that just helped with the hips. I don't know. Wild fun fact about him, by the way. Cassius Howe, edge out of Texas A&M, coming in at 37. Might have suboptimal length. But again, another twitched up, can flatten and turn the corner like nobody's business. At 36, Penn State guard, Vega, I believe it's Iwane. But hey, he's just this big boy Samoan who beats people up in the trenches. Easy guy to fall in love with. I got a couple of wide receivers here. We got Antonio Williams out of Clemson here at 35. Then at 34, Mekhi Lemon out of USC. They play a lot in the slot, but I don't think they're just slot wide receivers. They have good after the catch ability. They've shown some ball skills, so pretty excited to see a little bit more of them this year. At 33, Caleb Lomu out of Utah. He is I believe a redshirt sophomore. Made his first year as a full-time starter. Left tackle was as a redshirt freshman. That's just kind of nuts. But he's on the same line there as Spencer Fano. But Lomu, he's got some traits. All right, let's jump up here to Nicholas Singleton, running back out of Penn State. He's big and he's fast. I just kind of wish there were more forced missed tackles. At 31 is Caleb Banks, defensive tackle out of Florida. And then at 30 is Darrell Jackson Jr., defensive tackle out of Florida State. They're both tall. They're huge. I think they're not just like, you look at that size and be like, oh, okay, maybe quality nose tackle or can play around that 0-1 tech area or the A gap. I think they're more flexible than that. They're really good athletes at their size. I would say Banks is probably the better pass rusher. Jackson, a more reliable run defender. At 29 is my guy. It's stinking Jonah Coleman out of Washington, running back. He might not be the fastest dude, but at 5'9", 228, yeah, I think he's got good speed. He's like a bowling ball. He's just hard to bring down. I feel like he's very underrated. Got Avion Terrell, corner out of Clemson, coming in at 28. Might just be a slot guy, but he plays with some feist. At 27, wide receiver Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. Another guy that could be a high-end wide receiver too. But there's just not a lot to dislike about his game. At 26 is my guy, the center in this class. Iapani Lalo Ilu. I'll get the name down eventually. I'm sorry. That's Poncho. We're going to call him Poncho. That's what he likes to go by. Another big Samoan that just beats the crap out of people. He's got experience at guard and center. I thought he had a phenomenal year last year. Now let's get into the top 25. We're going to start at linebacker with Anthony Hill out of Texas. We'll go up one more because just one spot ahead of him is Whit Weeks out of LSU. I like a lot about both these guys' game. I think, man, for me, they both just fly around. They have a nose for the football. I think they're the top linebackers right now, and it's not that close. At 23, Dylan Thiemann out of Oregon, the safety formerly of Purdue, another speedster at 207 pounds, 6 foot. Exceptional ball skills. You might be like, oh, where were the interceptions last year? And I'll be like, oh, well, they were there his freshman year, and then he played, rather than being a center fielder for Purdue like he was his freshman year, he kind of played everywhere for Purdue. And then at 22, Damani Jackson out of Alabama. I think he's going to have a big year for Alabama. He's got great size, great speed, great length. At 21, Caleb Tiernan out of Northwestern. Despite being 6'7", he might have sub 33-inch arms. That's what I saw. And again, not verified until it's officially verified during the offseason, but from what I saw from some verified accounts, that might be the case, which I think is weird. But being that tall, he should still have a pretty decent length. I just like his game in general, man. He's so controlled. Defensive tackle Christian Miller out of Georgia, coming here at 20. He's my Walter Nolan. He's got a lot of potential. A great athlete. Let's see if the tools click this year. At 19, Gabe Akis out of Illinois. He is just too strong for you. He's going to beat the crap out of you. Extremely productive. Big fan. I think he's a former wrestler as well. Moving on to 18. It's Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State. Initially, I was like, yeah, I'll probably give him a top 50 grade. And as I was like throwing together my big board, I just kept moving him up and up and up and up because there's so much to like about him as a quarterback. I need to see him step up in the big moments a little bit more consistently. At 17, Spencer Fano out of Utah. I kind of mentioned him earlier. Might have suboptimal length. Might be a guard only. I doubt that. 6'6", 302. I think if he's got 32 and 5/8 inch arms, I might be okay with it just because he's such a special athlete. At 16, Nick Harbor out of South Carolina, wide receiver. Speaking of special athletes, no one runs as fast as he does at 6'5", 235 pounds. He is now the guy in that wide receiver room. I want to see him produce and produce big. 15, I got Trevor Gooseby out of Texas. He only had 2 starts and saw action, like significant snaps, in actually 4 games. They were all big games. And I thought he went out and played exceptionally well. Now he actually takes over as the full-time starter. Sounds like we got a special type of athlete with him as well. At 14 is Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, a running back. The missed tackle rate is really good with him. At 6 foot, 212 pounds. He's going to give off, I guess, Amarian Hampton vibes for some people. And not like as a comp, but when you think about his rise among the draft community. And I mean, ultimately, he ends up going, 22, I believe, to the Chargers. So Love, I think, will be in that range. But as other guys start to emerge, maybe at more valuable positions, he could move down. Or maybe he just has a Ashton Genty type of year. I don't know. I mean, he's wicked fast. I did track and field in high school. And then at 13, Keldrick Folk out of Auburn. Right now, it's just tools, strength, good first step. But at the bare minimum, floor, very good run defender. Got to see him more consistently as a pass rusher. At number 12, Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He will be 24 to begin his rookie year. His dad is the current OC of the New Orleans Saints. Fun player, plays with a live arm. Gunslinger mentality. Let's see him try to reel that back. And I'm not saying play full conservative, but be a little wiser with some of his decision making. Like, you could go to, I think it was the Texas A&M game, or maybe it was the Ole Miss game. I can't remember. But it was basically a story of 2 halves. One where he went off, and then one where everything fell apart. At number 11, it's Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. I love the size. I love the ball skills. Really good route runner too. Might be the best route runner in this class, actually. Going to my top 10. We're going to go at 10. I got Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami. He was a little banged up, had a soft tissue injury with his hamstring last year, played through it here and there. But if he can regain what he did his freshman season, then watch out. LT Overton out of Alabama, edge. People will be like, I don't know where he should play. Is he a 3-4 edge? Is he a 3-4 end? What is he? Yes, he gets after it. He's not even like technically sound yet. He's winning with just pure physicality, strength, and explosiveness. I'm here for it. Speaking of which, another toolsy athletic prospect, Caden Proctor, tackle out of Alabama, 6'7", 360 pounds, and moves exceptionally well at that size. So again, some guys with some good tools here. Going to number 7, I got Dramond McCoy out of Tennessee. I didn't know if I was going to give him a top 10 grade, but when it was all said and done, I like his game that much, and it sounds like everything's going positive after the ACL injury he suffered in January. So I'm going to wait till he actually hits the field before I decide to move him at all. Francis Maui Noah here at number 6. This dude's so quick, but he's also strong. He was such an interesting watch. I think there's some technical stuff he needs to improve upon, but he's a smooth athlete, nasty finisher. At 5, Lenora Sellers out of South Carolina. He 6'3", 240, extremely fast, moves well. Rocket ship for an arm. That's right. We're going to space. That's how far he can chuck it. Let's see him develop as a passer. But the tools are there. They are there. And he's only a redshirt sophomore? Yeah, redshirt sophomore. Now, let's just go over these top guys. Arch Manning, I didn't include in this for obvious reasons. The sample size is extremely small. His grandfather, Archie, was like, he's probably coming back to school after the year. That's just what us Mannings do. So until, I guess, otherwise, I might not include him. Maybe he pops off, has a really good year, and then it's going to be like, okay, I should include him in mocks. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Buckle in. It's going to be a ride. Cade Klubnik, he's number 4 for me. I think he's probably the highest floor when it comes to the quarterbacks in this class. I think he's got a pretty deep ball, and he showed that he showed up in big time situations consistently last year for Clemson. He's a gamer. He's a ball player. I'm a fan. At 3, it's his teammate, Peter Woods, defensive tackle. Hopefully they play him more at tackle rather than edge. And then TJ Parker, his teammate, the edge out of Clemson. He's ended up being my number 2 guy here. There's a lot to like about Parker. Just good large toolbox of pass rush moves, elite hand usage. Might not be the most explosive or twitchy guy. And I say that he might not be elite in those regards, but he's still pretty darn good. But man, yeah, no, he was exceptionally. That's the word I'm looking for. Reliable, talented, consistent. And then, of course, it was always going to be Caleb Downs. He is my number 1 prospect until the quarterbacks begin to separate themselves. Which, hey, guys, if the quarterbacks end up popping off, they're going to move to that number 1 spot. That's just what happens. But there is my top 100. You let me know who you think should have been included. You could go check out any of my summer scouting with my positional rankings. I list out, it's not just top 10s or top 15s. I do an honorable mentions where I list out a ton of names. Watched a lot of guys this year. We got the draft guide out. You should have saw a promo for that during this. So go ahead and get in on that. If you want to stay up to date, again, I have over 500 player backgrounds and almost over 300 evals already. That's right. We get this sucker started early. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.